side.
Justin, are you saying that abs really are made in the kitchen?
Yeah, that's the truth that that at least from like the CrossFitter's mind, I like to put it into that perspective for them. That it is, yeah, it's 80-20, all these things people come up, right? It really is. It really is important for body composition changes. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of the results at CBG and some of the clients that we work with, a lot of people are in a period where they're super frustrated tracking because they've tracked for so long and they're doing this off and on thing with macros now. Like they're tracking for a couple days and they're not.
I feel attacked.
Yeah. So Nikki, if you, let's say you decided you're a vegetarian, right? And then you eat plant-based for 3 days and then the other 3 days you don't, you eat meat. Are you a vegetarian?
No.
Right. So you're not actually tracking macros if you're not
exactly.
tracking every day, right?
Right. Yes.
So the idea behind it is if we're going to track macros, we have to know what our intake is to a reasonable degree. And if we decide we're going to track during the week and not the weekends, we're not consistent enough tracking. And so this is something that's super frustrating for them. And so in our system, we teach people to harness the skills that they've already built tracking macros, because there is a lot of great habits and things you can learn from tracking. Right? It's all not like bash macros and all these different things. There's a lot that you can learn from it. We teach people how to understand their intake from there. And so this helps build like a better relationship with food. And of course, people are starting to stay more consistent and they're seeing results. And then as a result of that, they're eating more consistently. Instead of fueling their social life, they're fueling their WODs, they're fueling their performances at the gym, PRs, body composition changes, and all those things happen as a result as well. Right. So yeah, I would say those are sort of some of the avenues where I see what we're really good at and how we've been able to, I guess, help people in the best ways.
Justin, are you coaching people in addition to running the organization, or are you just high level these days?
Yeah, so I am coaching a little under 10 people right now. I work with a lot of our higher level athletes currently, but a lot of my day-to-day is content creation, some sales stuff, like managing my team. Like I said, I have 10 full-time coaches and other people that run our social media and do some of those things as well. So that keeps me like pretty busy, but I do have a short list of athletes that I'm working with.
'Cause you're so chill. I feel like you bring a level of zen to this conversation that would make me listen to you if you were my coach. Because I would be like what John was saying. I'd be like, oh man, like I'm pissed. I had to drive by Starbucks and I couldn't get my goddamn pumpkin cream cold brew. And I'm fucking hungry. And Justin, I want a cookie. And you'd be like, okay, let's just relax and think about your intake. And I'd be like, okay, I'm thinking about my intake. Your approach must be quite unique in how you are doing that relationship building and sort of managing the difficulties that come with the nutrition coaching and the nutrition consistency that I am sure elite level athletes have. Like we think they're these superhuman people that just are born snatching 300 pounds. But the reality is they have the exact same issues, anxieties, and day-to-day problems that every single one of us do. So what is it like, and how do you balance the emotions that come from coaching the elites, especially when you are so chill?
Yeah. Yeah, I think like what you said is like when your dog starts barking and then you also start yelling, your dog just like starts barking more. So you have to
That's also what happens in my house, yes.
Right. You have to have some level of like confidence in like whatever you're doing to like stay calm and make sure that you're talking through things like logically with people about what's occurring and what's not occurring. Because there are a lot of people that immediately when the scale doesn't drop or they're not seeing something, right? They immediately think nothing's working. This is not, because maybe some things in the past that they tried did give immediate results, right? Or, yeah, I mean, they're just in that state of mind where like they just invested in something and they want to see things immediately, right? When it comes to like athletes and things like that, our athletes, and I tell this to a lot of people and they don't believe me, but they struggle with the exact same things that Like
Oh yeah.
you and John, I struggle with our nutrition habits, building consistency, right? Like these are all the same things, not making sure that they're eating enough like during the day so they don't overeat at night, weekends and planning and just this stuff that we already know where we mess up. Athletes struggle with the same exact thing. You know, there's a wrench in there with like competitions and things like that. And then for me, when it comes to like nutrition coaching day to day, it's very similar to working with a regular athlete, let's say, as it is to work with a CrossFit Games athlete. As we get closer to competition, it gets there's a little bit more of a stimulus there. It puts everybody on high alert to make sure that everything like goes smooth. So the key and one thing that we use for our high level athletes is to make sure that we have a competition planned ahead of the big competition to make sure that we have everything in order.
Interesting.
So like Rogue coming up is a good opportunity to work through some of the kinks with our athletes and things like that. Very much like what a programming coach would go through. Oh, this is what event we did best in. This is what we need to do to strategize for this. We strategized wrong. These are the different things that these coaches are learning as well. It's the same thing with nutrition. There are a lot of athletes I talk to that I just start working with them. We have a competition coming up and I'm like, where are you staying? Like, at a hotel. I'm like, okay, is there a microwave? Do you have it built? Is there a kitchen there? Are you staying at an Airbnb? Like, where's your food coming from? These are all things that are like, a lot of athletes, they don't plan ahead. They just get there. They're excited, but they're also nervous. And like, this is where a coach comes in and can really make sure that they have the athlete in a place where they can set themselves up for success when it comes to the nutrition side of being able to compete. Because having carbs between events could be the difference between 5th and 22nd.
You let them eat Snickers bars and Coke like Frazier used to do. Coca-Cola, I should say. Make sure I made real clear what Coke was. You doing that at competition or are you keeping them on the straight and narrow?
Food quality can be sacrificed during competition, right? Because appetite is suppressed at that point, especially like all the blood in your body is, driving itself to working muscle tissue. It's not focused on digesting or doing any of those things, right? So appetite is usually a little bit lower. And so using liquid carbohydrates and easy digestible carbohydrates like Coca-Cola, Pop-Tarts, Uncrustables, candy, like these things.
Candy.
Yeah,
every elite athlete has a friggin' freezer gallon bag of candy with them at games. It is wild.
Basically just describe my entire college diet.
Also
like
true.
Pop-Tarts, and I'm like, yeah, all of that.
Coke,
Lucky Charms,
those kinds.
Yes.
Crunch. Yeah. So there's a little bit of sacrifice in food quality there, but not entirely, right? I mean, we still have had some food quality in there for the iron, the B12. Like some of these things are super important for transporting oxygenated blood and providing energy. So like it's early in the season, like now until mid-January for a lot of our games athletes, it's very much structuring and building the habits, supplement integration to make sure the supplements that we are taking in are working, they're third-party tested, and then food quality is super important to set up for the long season of making sure we're not getting injured and all those other things. And as we get into open season, we can start sacrificing food quality a little bit more to hit the calorie requirements necessary to just be able to recover and go into the next workout. So
you're telling me to eat more pizza during the Open this year. That's all.
What I heard. That's